Yo, what is good, boys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering a trade that I took today, as well as we're going to be diving into a concept that I use in OnlyTicks Model V2, which is VWAP. So make sure to watch this video all the way until the end, because in the middle of this video we're going to be dropping a few gems in here, so stay until the end. Before we get into the video, hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow, as well as it just overall helps my work get out there to a lot of traders who may be lost, may be struggling, or just traders in general who are focused on improving and just increasing their skill set in general. So all that aside, let's get right into it. We're going to do a quick recap of the setup that I ended up taking today in Asia session. I ended up catching the high of Asia, as you can see right here, and here was my take profit as well, right when we made a new Asia low. This setup was a OnlyTicks Model V2 setup, and the main confluence that I actually had here was VWAP, which we're going to dive into in just 1 second, so stay tuned. Overall, this setup ended up being around 152 points, and this was around a 1 to 9 risk to reward. I risked about 20 points on this setup to make 152 points. Overall, this ended up being the Asia high as well. We're going to break down one of the main confluences that I used for this setup, which was actually VWAP. So I had a drawn liquidity, which was bearish. I then had VWAP, and then I had some absorption that came in. But the main things here that we're going to focus on in this video is the VWAP, the second confluence of the OnlyTicks V2 model, because of how powerful this actually is. First of all, what even is VWAP? Why does it matter? Why do I trade it? Why do I keep an eye on it? VWAP is volume weighted average price. Now, what does this mean? This means that this is pretty much a average price based on volume, right? So this is a volume based indicator on TradingView, and it is actually the true average price weighted by where the actual volume and the real volume is traded. So it's like a real fair value gap. A fair value gap isn't actually fair value. It's just named that, in my opinion, personally. VWAP is the actual fair value, and you're gonna see a lot of times when you're trading that this is actually where big ass moves happen. Why? Because big money moves according to VWAP a lot of the times, right? Because big banks, big funds, big algorithms, they all get filled around that fair value price. And the volume overall from institutions is huge. So a big player getting into the market, if they actually want to get filled on a position, they can't just enter wherever. They have to enter where there's a lot of volume, where there's a lot of liquidity, and where they can actually, get their 100 contracts or 150 contracts or even 200 contracts filled. Because when you're trading with that big size, you have to have a seller if you're trying to buy. If you're selling, you have to have a buyer that will take the opposite end of your order. And this is why I use VWAP a lot. It's because it's where big money moves. It's where the big banks, big funds, big algorithms all like to fill their orders. And if I can align myself with those big institutions, those big players, then I can ride along with them, because they actually push price and then they defend it as well. I know my chart's getting a little bit messy here. But yeah, big banks, big institutions, algos, right? Market makers all push the market. So if we're trading with them, say we tap into a VWAP here, for example, and say they get in here with 150 contracts, and I know that this is a zone that big money is known to get in from, I can also get in with them and get in for this distribution as well, because I know if I'm playing with the big dogs, the big market makers, big institutions, my probabilities of winning a trade are way higher than they are lower. And VWAP in general, it's built on real volume. This is the actual equation behind VWAP. What I do care about is that it's very consistent, and you see it happen every single day. So here, for example, we shift structure above the VWAP, and we actually end up closing above it. You can see we close above VWAP. Right here, we have a bit of a run. And what actually happens when we have a pullback back into it? Say, for example, that our bias was bullish. We close above VWAP, and then we retap it. What happens when we retap? a lot of big institutions, big funds, big players take control of the market and actually end up causing the distribution to the upside. Why? Because VWAP is the volume weighted average price, and it's a level that there is a lot of institutional activity and there is a lot of probability that you can have a reversal from this level because of how much volume and how much liquidity there actually is resting here. Retail traders like you and me, prop firm traders, we're trading funded accounts, but we're not necessarily moving markets at all. Even if you enter with 5 contracts, you're not moving the market, bro. Big money, smart money, institutional money is who's actually moving these markets. So if we can get in along with them for the ride, our probabilities of being profitable are way higher. And we're actually going to dive into a live market example in just 1 second. But just so that you guys also understand how price reacts to the VWAP, overall, if price is trading above the daily VWAP, more times than not, the buyers are in control. If price is trading below it, the sellers are in control. The touch of the VWAP and the retest is usually where the move will happen. So here, for example, say we had a bearish bias, we end up closing below the VWAP and we actually shift structure below it, and then we retap it. More times than not, we will hold that volume weighted average price and have a reaction lower. Bias is very, very important. Comment below if you guys want another refresher covering how I actually find my bias. But the main thing is, more times than not, if your bias is correct higher time frame, these reactions will just continue to play out over and over. Also, if you guys want to actually test this out for yourself, Lucid right now is 50% off all of their accounts. I am doing a giveaway this Sunday. If you use code KRABS, you will be entered, and I will be announcing the winners on my Instagram. If you guys want to follow, I'm active on there every single day. Really good for practicing, especially if you guys want to just risk small on some Lucid 50K flex evals. Then after you pass them, just take VWAP entries. Make sure you're only taking like 1 trade a day, 2 max in different sessions. 1 loss in a session, walk away. Now, if we had a bullish bias, for example, let's take a look at a few VWAP entries that actually are playing out right now in live time, as well as that we did have setups off of. VWAP in general also has deviations. So we actually have the first deviation, the second deviation, and then also we have a further out deviation as well. Daily VWAP, think of it as like a midpoint and a kind of level that price will draw towards a lot. And think of it as like equilibrium if you're thinking of the fib. Right here we almost tapped into it, but overall, the further that you trade away from this midpoint of the VWAP, the more powerful the reactions actually are. So here we were trading around the first deviation, the second deviation. You can see how powerful it is if we have a strong bias in place, right? Here we had a bullish bias. Look at these reactions, right? These are very, very algorithmic reactions here that we had off of the second deviation of the VWAP. And this one ended up bottom ticking. We actually also had some absorption in right there. As well as if I'm looking for a setup here, what would I actually be looking for? Say I'm bullish here, we have this run up. I see we close above the VWAP. Now if we retest that VWAP, boom, right here could have been a A+ long setup. And I actually believe somebody in my Discord took this trade. I think MP Trades actually took this exact trade. So we had SMTs at the lows. We also, here, let's just make sure we can actually see his name. There we go. Shout out MP Trades, bro. I was looking at this setup as well. Super A+. We had SMTs at the lows. We then had a pullback into what? Into VWAP, and then we had absorption come in as well. I'm not talking about absorption in this video. Absorption is only for mentorship students and for people with the OnlyTicks V2 indicator. But absorption is just overall a final confirmation reversal indicator, right? After we get that retest to VWAP. So it just adds more confirmation. But yeah, shout out MP. He actually took this exact trade that we're talking about right now. What happened here? We also had SMTs. We had an SMT with this New York PM low below. But what matters more than this is that we actually had this shift in structure above VWAP, retested it, and even that could have been your entry right there off that retest of VWAP. If you wanted additional confirmation, always wait on the absorption to come in. There's a few different ways you can spot absorption. Comment below right now if you guys want a video on that. Just comment the word absorption. and maybe I'll drop you guys some game about it, but it is mainly reserved for my mentorship students. Overall, this is a perfect example of VWAP playing out, as well as here. If you were a bit more bearish, you could have taken shorts as well once we closed below, retested, dumped, right? Dumped where? Dumped towards this daily. We ended up edging it, but you guys see the idea. Here, we did have a bit of a choppy market here, but you can see how strong this kind of zone is around the first deviation of the VWAP. So I just want to show you guys a quick example of the live market, as well as look at these reactions here. Super powerful. Also, if you guys want to join my free Discord where I do exclusive prop firm giveaways every single Sunday, as well as I drop game and I drop a few educational sessions that I don't drop on YouTube or anywhere else, as well as if you guys want some trade ideas from traders who are active in here, as well as I'm active in here every single day, and you want a real community of traders who are only focused on getting better, improving, learning, and getting funded, securing payouts, then join the free Discord, which is linked in the description below. As well as here, we close below VWAP, shift lower, right? Retap that first deviation, dump. Overall, after you have your bias in place, you then look for that shift in structure either above or below VWAP to then enter your trade and continue the actual trend that you have higher time frame. A lot of my students as well, they've been absolutely cooking with this. We have MP here who just secured a 1K day, as well as we have Penna, he just secured a payout trading AM session, as well as we have Israel who actually ended up top ticking the same exact trade that I took today. So I didn't even have to signal him, I didn't give him my bias, he took the same exact trade as me. Absolutely beautiful. He had literally the same executions. Also, we have Cha, who literally took a beautiful VWAP short once again, right? So the reason why I'm showing you guys all of these student results and student wins is just to show you that this concept is actually very powerful. And if you go out and you test it on your own, either forward test it in the live market or trade it on some evaluations, trade it on some Lucid accounts, they're 50% off right now. Test it out, let me know how it goes, comment below. And also for traders who are still not yet funded, if you're struggling right now and you're just not really where you want to be, I currently have an offer where I guarantee to work with you one-on-one until you're funded, at least max allocation with a prop firm, and until you secure at least your first ever prop firm payout. After you're funded, after you got your first ever prop firm payout, then my goal is still scaling you to your first ever 10K profit month just from payouts alone. If you're a trader that's serious, you want to get that next level of coaching from me personally, then book your call today. The first link in the description below. Until next time, if you guys have any questions, make sure to comment below. I'll be answering every single comment that we have down there. As well as if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and hit that notifications bell as well to see when I post next. If you guys got any type of value from this video, or if this was just a good refresher in general, comment below as well. Boost my engagement. It really helps my work get out there to a lot of other traders who haven't heard of this concept in general, or traders who are still not yet funded or haven't even gotten a prop firm payout yet. Until next time, I'm gonna catch you guys. Love you all. Good looks.